Hello, and thank you so much for joining us here on CBS 8. I'm Netta Irampour, and at CBS 8, we are always working for you. We're getting to the bottom of problems you've asked us about. We're looking for solutions. We begin with the hidden dangers that may be lurking in your garage or even in your living room: lithium-ion batteries. Records obtained by CBS 8 reveal a growing number of fires linked to those batteries right here in San Diego County. CBS 8's Brian White is digging into this data and shows us how to avoid sparking a fire.
Yeah, in the past year alone, at least 83 fires have been caused by lithium-ion batteries here in San Diego County. Everything from cell phones and scooters to electric vehicles. An e-bike battery fire destroys a home in Barrio Logan. And this house fire in Carlsbad caused by a scooter charging overnight. And when this pedicab warehouse in East Village went up in flames, the culprit was lithium batteries.
The number of batteries in our county is just increasing. And so the number of fires are going to go up.
In records obtained by CBS 8 showing more than 80 battery fires over the past year, personal electronic devices topped the list. Things like cell phones, e-cigarettes, and power tools. 14 fires were linked to electric vehicles, and 17 were caused by mobility devices like scooters and e-bikes. Chief Robert Rezendi with San Diego Fire Rescue heads up a team that responds to these types of fires all across the county. He says they're seeing an equal number of battery failures, whether a device is on charge or not.
That's something to think about. Don't just assume, well, I don't have it on my charge, so I'm fine. I can put it in my bedroom. We definitely don't recommend that.
He says it's important to use the right charger and charging cord for the device according to the manufacturer, because the wrong one can damage your battery. And it's best to take your device off the charger when it's done and avoid leaving it on charge overnight. And he says placement is key.
Where are you charging it? Are you charging it next to your gas cans? That's probably not a good idea. Are you charging it next to other flammable towels or racks or rags?
As for electric vehicles, Chief Rezendi says the industry is highly regulated compared to e-bikes and scooters, and the relative prevalence of fires is low.
It doesn't mean that it won't happen. We have seen incidents with the actual charging device itself, the cord that charges the vehicle. We've seen incidents where the vehicle itself has had failures.
If you have an electric vehicle, he recommends installing a heat detection or alert system in your garage. For a full list of safety tips, head to CBS8.com. Working for you, Brian White, CBS 8.
Oh, you don't want that to happen to you. Good information there. Meantime, in La Mesa, people are pushing back against a proposed battery storage facility in their community. This facility, which would be built on El Paso Street, would use lithium iron phosphate batteries to store surplus renewable energy. But many neighbors are passionately opposed to this, voicing their fears this past week at a town hall. They're worried about fires and the potential impact on the health of residents. There are also concerns over property values. Over the past year and a half, there have been a number of fires at battery storage facilities throughout the county, including in Valley Center, Otay Mesa, and Escondido.
A fire zone. My insurance has gone up, and this isn't going to help.
I just don't think a facility with hazardous waste should be put in a residential area.
While the company proposing this facility, Enter Smart Storage, was invited to the La Mesa Town Hall, they did not attend, nor did they respond to CBS 8's request for comment. We have an update on a toxic algae bloom affecting wildlife off the coast of San Diego. Rescuers at SeaWorld are taking about 100 calls per day about sea lions and now pelicans too that are sick. The animals are showing symptoms of domoic acid poisoning after eating fish exposed to this neurotoxin that gets produced by the algae bloom. Over the past few weeks, affected sea lions have turned up in pretty odd places, including on the staircase of an Airbnb in Oceanside. An animal was spotted right there, as you see. We talked to SeaWorld's rescue team about the symptoms seen in these mammals.
A lot of times it looks like they have a wobbly head, and a lot of times they won't react to people, or sometimes they'll overreact a little bit too aggressively.
So aggressive behavior is a sign there. The California Department of Public Health issued a warning not to eat sport harvested shellfish that's gathered here in San Diego. However, we want to point out they say commercially sold shellfish, those are okay. Murals, as many of you know, part of the cultural tapestry in Barrio Logan. Now there's growing concern they're being removed without warning. And now so-called artivists hoping to raise awareness about existing laws and push for better protection in San Diego. CBS 8's Abby Black working for you, finding out more about what laws are in place to protect artists.
Murals are a part of Barrio Logan's identity, deeply rooted in the Chicano culture. But there's growing concerns that some are being painted over and erasing history that artivists say can't be replaced. We're working for you to find out what protections exist for this public art.
Wherever there's art, there is life.
Mario Terrero's boots help paint the story of Barrio Logan. He's one of the founding fathers of Chicano Park, who's created murals across San Diego for over 45 years.
A work of art gives you a sense of place.
But that sense of community was shaken when Terrero discovered one of the murals he organized was painted over.
What?
In 2010, Terrero organized Mexicali artists to paint La Vida es un sueño, or Life is a Dream.
Our murals speak about the original indigenous cultures that have created us. We are losing some of our important historical sacred sites. This was one of them.
Down the street, another mural covered in black paint on a residential fence.
To me, this wall was very important because it was the first one.
In 2022, Daniel Dentlock Angeles painted his first mural on this fence on Evans and Logan. He says he had permission from the previous owner, who has since sold the property.
You can see the color still fights back. And the color wants to be in this wall.
It's Abby Black. I'm a reporter at Channel 8.
I contacted the realtor connected to the commercial building. He claims the city ordered the owner to remove graffiti or face fines. My investigation found no record of graffiti get it done reports or code violations at this address. I'm still awaiting response from police.
The way it should have happened, it should have called me, called us.
Through my research, I discovered that under the California Art Preservation Act and Federal Visual Artists' Rights Act, these murals can be protected. Sarah Mondragon is the founder of the Barrio Artists Partnership, an advocate to protect art and provide resources.
It's actually 90 days you're supposed to allow an artist to remove their murals or document them for posterity.
My investigation also revealed that unlike Los Angeles, San Diego lacks strong ordinances to enforce these laws. While artists demand action to preserve their cultural heritage, I've repeatedly contacted Councilwoman Vivian Moreno's office, but have received no response.
And it's never going to go away, never going to die, no matter how much they think they're going to paint us out.
Working for you in Barrio Logan, Abby Black, CBS 8.
And coming up next, changes to how San Diego police handle a person in the middle of a mental health crisis, how a new policy may improve safety, plus keeping teens safe when they're using social media, the new safeguards parents need to know. Welcome back here. New safeguards are coming for young Instagram users. This past week, Meta announced changes to teenage accounts. So parents, you're going to want to listen to this too. Children under the age of 16 will be prohibited from going live without a parent's permission. A teen will also need a parent to sign off on them turning off the feature that blurs images that may contain nudity in direct messages. The new protections will be available in the coming months. Meta also announced teen accounts will soon be available for Facebook and Messenger. Those platforms will have similar protections. We have an update on plans to build a mega church in the Del Cerro neighborhood. Some residents from the area have filed a lawsuit against the city of San Diego over the approval of the nearly 1,000-seat church. The Save Del Cerro group claims the city accepted a flawed environmental impact report that failed to address zoning, traffic, air quality, and noise concerns there. The lawsuit argues the 6-acre parcel should have been considered for housing. This comes just weeks after the city council approved the All People's Church project, partly to avoid a lawsuit from church leaders. A lawsuit settlement has now led to major changes in San Diego police policy regarding how officers handle emergency mental health calls. It stems from a catastrophic crash on the 805, where an 18-year-old influencer drove the wrong way, intentionally killing himself, as well as an innocent woman and her young daughter. CBS 8's David Gottfredson, working for you, takes a look at the new policy and why police say it will improve public safety.
when a Carmel Valley couple called San Diego police in 2018 to report their 18-year-old son was having a mental health breakdown.
He's got manic behavior.
He's never been diagnosed with anything.
He needs to go into a doctor.
Officers told them there was nothing they could do. Trevor Heitman was making threats to drive his $250,000 McLaren sports car at high speeds the wrong way on the freeway.
And he did threaten to harm his mother, and he threatened to harm
But we don't have any of those threats.
Officers left the scene, leaving the teenage YouTube star asleep in his bedroom.
I won't go to prison to get him into a hospital.
Hours later, Trevor sped through an elementary school and drove the wrong way on the 805 at 100 miles per hour, colliding with a van, killing Aileen Pizarro and her 12-year-old daughter, Ariana. Trevor also died in the fiery collision. Both families filed lawsuits against the city of San Diego. Last year, the city settled with the family of the mother and daughter who were killed for $6 million. Earlier this month, the city settled with the parents of the driver of that car for $500,000. And as part of that settlement, San Diego police agreed to change its policy about how officers handle mental health crisis calls. The new SDPD mental health policy changes say officers must notify a supervisor if they have no contact with a mental health subject. Officers can give more credibility to family and friends when determining whether to arrest a mental health patient, and it allows officers to look at emails and text messages when determining whether a credible threat has been made.
Mental health crisis is a complicated problem, and when officers respond, they have to make decisions based on legality and also safety.
Lieutenant Van Penn is with SDPD's Neighborhood Policing Unit. He says the requirement to notify supervisors is a good thing when making a decision whether to contact a mentally ill person in crisis.
It's important because it provides oversight. For this policy in place, they will make the decision to override the officer if they feel it's necessary to contact the person, and they got to weigh the balance of safety and the law.
I spoke to the attorney who represented the family of the mother and daughter who were killed.
I think what you need is training of the officers.
Cynthia Chiak agrees the San Diego police policy changes are good, but now she says they need to be enforced.
No one is reprimanding anybody for not taking somebody in. The lesson is to take seriously the complaints of a credible public.
David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
The new policy also advises officers on when to call in specialized mental health teams in the field, as well as options for placement of mental health patients in short-term treatment facilities. How much does it cost to raise a child? And how does California compare to other states? Coming up here, we're going to break down the numbers for you. The deadline to get a real ID is May 7th, and people across the state are rushing to their closest DMV to get theirs. Do you have one? It's the one with the star on the bear in the right corner. That's leading to long wait times and a lack of available appointments. We saw only a handful of open appointments at San Diego DMV offices through July. In the Bay Area, people who don't have an appointment say they've waited up to 3 hours to complete the application process. But a DMV spokesperson tells us the agency was expecting this rush as the federal deadline gets closer.
We're going to be monitoring the situation not only in the Bay Area, but across the state of California, and we're going to adjust appointment availability as needed.
You will need a real ID or another federally approved document to fly or enter secure federal facilities like a passport. For those who don't have a real ID but have a federally compliant ID like that passport, the DMV suggests standing by for now, as it does expect its average wait time to return back to normal in the next 6 to 8 weeks. So you don't need to rush. You can also check the wait times of your local DMV office online. I'm sure a lot of parents out there can agree with this. Raising kids can be expensive, and a new report is shedding light on just how pricey it is, especially here in California. CBS 8's Shannon Handy working for your wallet. She breaks down the costs and what experts say you can do to prepare.
Close to $300,000, according to Lending Tree. That is how much it costs to raise just one child here in California, making us the 8th most expensive state in the country.
It is definitely expensive, and especially the older she gets, the more she eats, the different outfits.
Jennifer Sumber says while expenses for her 13-year-old daughter may have changed over the years, one thing that hasn't is how pricey everything is.
The health care, the dental care, 2.5 years from waiting for getting her driver's license, college, saving up for that one.
According to a new report by Lending Tree, the 18-year cost of raising a child in California has surged to over $286,000. Nationwide, it's more than $297,000, a 25.3% increase over 2023.
That's an awful lot of money considering how tight so many people's budgets are.
Matt Schultz is the chief consumer finance analyst at Lending Tree. He says they came up with those numbers based on several factors.
From insurance premiums to the cost of rent, to childcare costs, to daycare, to transportation, to food. There's just so much that goes in to raising a child.
Overall, California ranked as the 8th most expensive state, behind places like Wyoming, Alaska, and Washington. Hawaii ranked number 1.
The least expensive place tended to be in the deep south.
While the numbers are daunting, Schultz says there are ways to save.
Whether it's just shopping around or buying used or getting friends and family involved.
In addition, he suggests parents take steps to ensure their financial foundation is sturdy.
That means knocking down your high interest debt like credit card debt. It means building an emergency fund so the next emergency trip to the hospital or the next time you have a flat tire, that money doesn't just go straight to your credit card. Those sorts of things can make a real difference.
Jennifer Sumber says she does what she can to save, including now sharing clothes with her daughter.
We wear the same clothes, wear the same shoes. So we save for a rainy day.
Shannon Handy, CBS 8.
Sharing clothes, great idea if you can. If you are looking to buy a home this spring, Realtor.com says the number of homes on the market is actually up from a year ago, surging 28.5% last month. Listings jumped between 44% up to 68% in large metro areas, including here, San Diego, Atlanta, Las Vegas, and Washington, D.C. The median listing price was also down last month in many of the 50 biggest metro areas. It was down 4.8% from 1 year in San Diego. So now it's at $950,000. Hey, we made it under $1 million now, so that might help you out if you're looking to buy a house here. And that is going to do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us here on CBS 8+. Remember, if there's something you'd like us to look into, email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you next time.